This is great. I love what I'm seeing here. I'm looking at the comments on the video, my mom's reaction to not being half Mexican. Man, this really helps me put things in perspective, and I love it. And I want to share a few of these with you. Our great friend Farley Tokley had this to say, quote, "I guess it might be similar to me saying I'm Canadian as an ethnicity when I know I'm British, Irish, Norwegian, etc. The Europeans' thought process must be because everyone in the Western Hemisphere are immigrants, then they have to identify as their Eastern Hemispheric countries of origin because they're more important for some reason." Very good. I love that. I think something we have to realize about my channel is there's the right answer. There's the correct thing. And then there's the perceived answer. Just like my mom. She's almost 60. Never in her life has anyone ever corrected her when she said she's half Mexican. She's lived in Buffalo, New York, because she's lived in the South. No one's ever corrected her. No one's ever corrected me until this channel. Up until this channel, no one ever corrected my mom or me when we said that, that I'm a quarter Mexican or that she's half Mexican. No one ever corrected. That shows you something about the audience. As long as our audience is the South, they don't think it's silly at all to say that you're half or a quarter Mexican. When you take that same message and you make it global, then it does become silly. See, that's the irony. Here in the South, we think it's silly if you say that, if I were to say, well, let's see, well, 'cause I'm Native American and in Spanish because of my Mexican grandma. And then they say, oh, so you're a quarter Mexican. That's how they would correct you here in the South. And then if you say you're Native American, then they think that you are Native American via America, Choctaw Creek, etc. Right? So it's all about perspective. And I want us, this video is about that. This video is about, this is a perception issue. If everyone around me, my whole life, and my mom's whole life, never thought it was weird to say that we were part Mexican, that tells you something about the people here. Culturally, they see things differently than the rest of the world. So as far as being relevant in our own society where we actually live outside of YouTube, that's how we have to speak. If I speak that same way to a global audience on YouTube, then that sounds silly. We sound silly to each other because we're coming from different perspectives, both locally and globally. I want to share also what Hector had to say, because he really adds to this, and I think it helps him out a lot as well. Hector had this to say, quote, "Nick, so you were 100% American then and not half of anything? Because both of your parents' nationality is American. This is exactly what you're doing with Mexico. LOL. I'm an American and I don't think you can be half Mexican because I think this is because I know my family tree and Mexicans are not the same. They're mixed of different things." End quote. So he goes on, but still the point is this. I agree 100% with everything I'm learning from all of my international viewers and my fellow Americans who also understand the right, correct answer. And that is, you can't be part Mexican just like you can't be part American. That would be a dual citizenship, if anything. That doesn't exist. But keep in mind, I'm teaching you, just as you taught me something, I'm teaching you something. If you're in the South, in Tennessee, in Alabama, or even in Buffalo, New York, where my mom's from, because again, she was never corrected there either to say what she said, to say that she was half Mexican. In certain parts of America, you can be part Mexican. And to try to explain it beyond that becomes confusing and silly to the person listening. I'm taking something, a cultural perspective, and telling you, and it's just getting so lost in translation. This video is not about the right or wrong thing to say about being half Mexican or half American. That's not what this video is about. This video is a bookmark to remind us for all future discussions that while it sounds silly to you that I'm a quarter Mexican, it sounds silly to people here where I am if I try to explain it any other way. When I say my mom's half Mexican, no one looks at me funny. This is a video about a cultural perception where I actually live my real life. You take that message globally, it's lost in translation. And I accept there's a right answer, which is what you're saying, and then there's the wrong answer, which is what I believe, but it's still part of the cultural perception, and I can't neglect that here where I live my everyday life.